Hello and welcome to our Heart Chakra practice. The Heart Chakra is called Anahata in Sanskrit. So we've visited the Root Chakra, Sacral Chakra, Solar Plexus, red, orange, yellow, and now the heart, which, as you might guess, encompasses the ribs to about the clavicle. And remembering that this encompasses both the front and the back body. We don't just have these chakras as energy stations on the front body. So the heart, the element is air, and this is the transition from doing of the lower chakras to being. It's about softening, opening, softening with the breath. Physically, the heart chakra encompasses the heart, obviously, the lungs, the arms, hands, and shoulders, shoulder blades. So if you're feeling any tension or discomfort or disease in these areas, it could be related to the heart chakra. This is where we feel love, compassion, unity. It's the dissolution of ego and separateness, where we all feel as one. If you're out of balance, you might have high blood pressure, heart disease, lung issues like asthma, or you could have, as I said, shoulder, arm, and hand issues. If you're too much in this energy, then you might be codependent, desperate for love and attention. Too much in this chakra, you might have fear of intimacy, be judgmental, and tend to isolate. So when you're balanced, you feel radiant and joyful, generous, and of course loving. And this isn't just about loving others, it's about loving yourself and showing compassion towards yourself as well, which sometimes is a lot more difficult than showing other people compassion and love. So where the third chakra, the solar plexus, used effort and strength to push to new levels, the fourth chakra is about going from effort to surrender, from muscular strength to yielding tenderness. So remembering this as we move through this practice of treating yourself with this softness and this tenderness, and listening to your body as always, and being okay with where you are, offering that love and support to yourself. So we will begin by revisiting the lower chakras and moving that energy up, just kind of a review, an energetic review. So we'll start by doing some breath work. I think in class we did take a little time to come to the mat and center and just breathe. So please, if you'd like to start your practice this way, take a few minutes, as we always do, with your dominant hand or your right hand on top, thumbs to touch, kind of joining and balancing the yin and yang, the feminine and masculine energy within. If today you're feeling a little tight in the hips and your legs aren't coming down to the mat fully, it might be helpful to place a folded blanket or a block underneath your sits bones so that you can allow the knees to fall open and wide. So let's take a couple of minutes to just arrive on the mat. Rolling the shoulders down and back. The chin is slightly tucked. The eyes can be closed or the gaze can be lowered to 2 to 3 feet in front of you. Remembering that I won't want to say perfect, but that spinal alignment, nice straight spine, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Noticing where your body meets the earth mat. Imagining these beautiful roots growing from the base of your spine, holding you steady, fully supported. Relaxing your entire being around your breath. Every part of you is relaxed. Facial muscles, jaws slack. And as we begin this heart practice, setting an intention, our heartfelt intention, a sankalpa for your practice, a loving intention for your practice. Maybe it's I am love, I give love, and I receive love freely. Rub the hands together and bring them to heart space. And take a moment in gratitude for the time that we have for our practice. And taking a deep breath in as we exhale, offering that sankalpa, that heartfelt intention out to the universe. Bat the eyelashes open, relax the hands down. On top of the legs, I'm going to remove the block from underneath my sits bones so that I'm down here on the mat. So as I said, we're going to revisit each one of the chakras that we have already practiced, a yoga meditation and a asana practice difficulty forming my words today. So the heart chakra is represented by a lotus with 10 petals. So each one of these breath practices will do 10 times to represent those 10 petals. We'll start with the root chakra, remembering that the color is red. So if you imagine this red light at the base of your spine as we're doing this practice, and imagine the light growing, the energy growing in that area of your being. We'll start with the root, the the Muladhara. And as we're doing this, if you remember that root block, that Mula Bandha that we had practiced throughout this sequence or this series of classes, where we lift up almost like we're doing a kegel. So we're bringing that energy up, that center plumb line, that Sushumna, as we're doing this. So this is what it will look like. We'll inhale, the arms and the legs come up, and then as we exhale, our hands come down to the mat, grounding us. The knees come down. So we'll do this 10 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Breathing all the way down to the belly. Starting to move that energy from the root chakra. Imagining that we're held by roots from our sits bones, keeping us stable. As we're doing this, you can also imagine that we're combing through our auric being, through our aura, the energy field around us. refreshing it. And come to stillness. Take a moment with your hands on your knees, with your eyes closed, to imagine this beautiful light at the base of the spine, beautiful red light. Remembering that the Muladhara, the root chakra, is the foundation of who we are. It's security, in all forms. Childhood traumas are held here, fear and anger. So imagine that you're held here, safe, secure, no worries, present, grounded. And then we'll come up to the Sacral Chakra, which is orange in color and is from the top of the pubic bone to the navel. And for this practice, we're just going to do a seated spinal flexation. So it does activate all of our chakras because we're moving the energy through the entire spine, but we're going to focus at the navel point in this lower part of the abdomen, imagining this beautiful orange color, remembering that this is the seat of our divine feminine energy, our creative energy, creating anything, creating life forms, connection to spirit. This is like an intuitive center too. We have many intuitive centers. If you think about trusting your gut, that's solar plexus stuff. That's like self-worth and believing that, trusting in your gut. And where that comes from is the navel is where you're attached to your mother. So you get your nutrients, your physical nutrients, from your mother through the umbilical cord, but you also get your intuitive energy from your mother through this umbilical cord. So there are a lot of nadis around the navel point, and that's where trust your gut comes from, in case you're wondering. But then we have, the third eye, which is more connected with future visions, being able to kind of predict what's going to happen. And then you have your divine connection to spirit. So much of us is connected to that energetic world. And, it's not, we always think it's all third eye, but, it's through your entire being that we're connected spiritually. Root chakra, we're connected to Mother Earth in a spiritual way. So yes, it's, a lot of that root chakra stuff is physical stability in our life, food, clothing, shelter, financial stability, but it's also the stability of knowing who we are. Just the basis of our foundation. So moving on, I got way off on a tangent. So moving up to the second chakra, the sacral chakra, we'll do a spinal flexation, picturing this beautiful orange color from below the navel. So we'll inhale forward, shining the heart forward, lifting the chin just slightly, not cranking on the neck, but just slightly, and exhaling from the navel, pulling backwards, rounding the back. So we're opening up the heart space to front and back as we do this. Inhale front, exhale back. And as I've said before, as we do the spinal flexation in like cat-cow, it's really activating the energy to flow up the entire chakra system and refreshing the spinal fluid. A great practice is maybe each and every morning, take not even 5 minutes and do a few cat-cows, remembering that when you shine your heart forward, you bring in as much air as possible. As you exhale, you do so completely. So if you do that for, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes, and you start off slowly and then speed it up with your breath, and then move back into a child's pose as being your relaxation pose, and come to center and close your eyes. Notice how you feel as you start your day. It really does bring in, like, it energizes you. You're getting the juices flowing. And then we'll open our eyes and we'll come to the solar plexus chakra, which is from the navel to the lower ribs. This is your will. This is your power chakra. This puts all the ideas of the sacral chakra into action. It's a very masculine energy. It's connected with the sun, which is a masculine energy, and the element is fire. So we had earth, water at the sacral, and now fire puts everything into action. And this encompasses your digestive system. So as we're going to do Sufi grinds, 10 to one direction and 10 to the other. We're actually wringing out all those organs, getting the juices flowing in that area of the body. It's said that this is a detoxifying movement, energetically and physically. So let's just pick a direction and then we'll go in the opposite direction. So inhale forward, keeping the chin parallel to the floor, and then from the navel coming back like we did in the spinal flex. So inhale forward, exhale back, going around almost like a coffee grinder. We'll do 10 in one direction and 10 in the other. I'm terrible at keeping track of where we are. Counting. I think we'll call this 7 and 8. 9. One more. And then we'll switch directions. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Going at your own pace. If you want to take longer breaths, or you're feeling jazzy today and you want to go faster, the important thing is marrying the movement with your breath. Let's do 3 more in this direction. And then come to center. Pause, just noticing how your body's feeling. Feeling that energy begin to move. And then we'll begin our practice for the heart chakra by bringing the hands to the shoulders, and the upper arms are parallel to the floor. Roll your shoulders down and back so that we're not up like this. And we're going to twist to the right with an inhale and twist to the left, exhale, and then we'll reverse that. So inhale right, exhale left. Again, going at your own pace. And center, and this time we'll inhale left and exhale right. So inhale left, exhale right. Again, making sure that your shoulder blades are drawing down the back of your body so that your shoulders are not up around your ears. 2 more. And come to center. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. Inhale in deeply. Exhale out audibly. Inhale deeply. And exhale out. We're going to begin our practice warming up the shoulders. so that we can open them nice and wide when we're doing our other practices. So for this, we'll need, sorry, I should have explained beforehand, we'll need the strap, or you can use a towel or a scarf. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. We're going to begin in standing. I'm going to do this seated. It definitely is easier standing, just so you can see me. So bring your hands wide and out in front of you. Make sure they're nice and wide enough so that you can bring them up and over. I just had to widen I have really tight shoulders because I've been a dental hygienist for a very long time. So I like to do this with my inhale, up, exhale, back. Inhale, up, exhale, front. So front and back. Again, you can be seated or you can do this in standing. Warming up the shoulders, go nice and slowly. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale. Get my inhale, exhale back, right? Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do one more time. So inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, and exhale down in front. Then roll up your shoulders, maybe shake out your hands. And the only standing posture we're going to do today is this next one. We're going to come to mountain. I think you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Come to mountain, so your feet are hip width apart. You've got a little bend in your knees. We're going to interlace the fingers and push down and back, rolling the shoulders down and back. This is active. Just a slight tuck of the pelvis. Your head is lifted, and we'll begin from the center, bending over and allowing the shoulders, push up with the shoulders and let them fall over. We'll hold this pose for just a few beats, a few breaths. Maybe shaking the head yes and no. Opening that chest up. Remember, the knees are flexed. We'll breathe in to a flat back. Release everything over. And a ragdoll and shake everything out. Bring the hands to the floor and drop the knees down very carefully. Come to tabletop. So the knees are directly underneath the hip points. We're going to walk the hands out into our first yin pose. We'll start with heart to earth pose. So if you notice that you're getting tingling in the arms, this is what the pose looks like. It's also called puppy posture in Hatha Yoga. So the hips are up. There's a slight tilt of the sacrum up towards the ceiling. The knees are directly underneath your hips. The hands are as wide as your yoga mat. And then melt your heart down, opening up the chest and the front body. If your hands begin to tingle, open your arms up a little bit wider or bend your elbows to take some pressure off. You can always put a block or a bolster underneath your chest for a little extra support, just so you can feel the stretch through the side body, through the armpit chest. We'll hold this pose for a couple of minutes. As you inhale, you fill the body with breath. You can feel the back of the body stretch, the skin stretch, and as you exhale, your heart melts closer to the mat, closer to the earth. At any time, if this is uncomfortable, you can come back into a child's pose. Remembering that deep breath, that deep breathing. And on an inhale, begin to walk your hands back up. Maybe sit back on your feet. Give a little roll of the shoulders. We were discussing in class that sometimes you don't feel much in this pose. It does feel good. It does feel restorative. But I know for me in the last class and for a few of our students, we felt it a little more than usual in the shoulders and in the upper bicep area in the deltoids. So very interesting. No judgment, just noticing that. Our next posture will be our thread the needle, which we've done in class before. So not only will this open up the shoulder of the arm or the back part of the heart space that we're laying on, but it will open up the front heart space on the opposite side. So we'll be opening front and back of the heart space. So come to tabletop. You can begin in tabletop, or I like to have my knees wide, toes touching for this posture. And what we'll do is we'll keep the left hand down, the right hand, so that we open up the chest first. We don't just put the arm up. We run the hand up across the chest, which opens up the chest first, and then the arm goes up. Fingers wide. Inhale, stretch up, up, up. And as you exhale, thread underneath this arm, landing on the right shoulder and the right ear. The hand can remain your left hand can remain on the mat. Come up over your head for a nice side stretch. On your sacrum, on your lower back, or you can reach around for a bind to open the chest up a little bit more on that left side. So do a little body scan. Make sure you're not holding tension in your feet. Your hips come up towards the sky. Relax your face. And notice where you're feeling tension in the body. Try to let that go with each exhale. We'll begin to unwind. Press yourself up slowly. Maybe we'll take a downward dog as a counter pose. The hips are high, walking the feet out. Come to stillness for a beat. Drop the knees, keeping them either right underneath the hip points or as wide as the mat, toes to touch. We'll take the right hand right underneath the shoulder. The left hand comes up the arm across the chest, reaches straight up, stretching open that chest space, that heart space. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, threading the needle, landing on your left ear, your left shoulder, and either pressing into that twist with your right hand elbow bent, or getting a nice side stretch with the hand over the ear, or our hand to the sacrum, or wrapping around in a bind. Play around with that. You're letting go of any tension you might be holding in your arm. I noticed I was just pushing up like that, relaxing into it, but twisting, actively twisting open the chest space. Each one of these poses, yes, it may target the heart space, but we are targeting many other chakras as well. I like to picture this beautiful green light growing at my heart space, encompassing my whole being, bringing love and healing in wherever I need it. I may not realize where I need it. We'll inhale in, and again, press ourselves up. Maybe hands go out a little bit further than underneath the shoulders. Knees are under the hips, and curling the toes under. Bring the hips up first. Extend the sits bones towards the sky and into a downward dog, little counter stretch. And then coming back down to the knees. We'll come into a deer pose, which we've done before. So if you're not feeling like you want to do the deer pose because of knee or hip issues, remembering that we're focusing on the heart space, you can just sit in Sukhasana or easy pose while we do the arms, because the arms are what are important here. So in deer pose, we begin in butterfly, so feet, soles together, and then we'll take the left foot back behind us, almost in like a woo cheerleader pose. Take a moment to get yourself square, or as square as you can get in this pose. I'm noticing my left hip is a little tight today, and feel free to use blankets to, underneath your left sits bone or wherever you need it, or even underneath your knees if that would feel a little bit better. We'll take our strap in the right hand, and what we want is for the arm to be straight up like this. So we'll take the strap behind, so we're opening up this right side, and then reaching back to the strap behind and pulling. It's not necessary for that left arm to be, the bottom arm to be way up. Our goal is to have this elbow pointing straight up and close to the ear, not out to the side, so that we're opening this whole area of the body. opening the heart space. And if it is in your practice and you can grab hold of your left hand with your right hand and you don't need to strap them, please do so. That was in my practice when I was younger and not so much now, and that's okay. This is where I'm at today, and I'm okay with that. All right, so let's do our check-in, bringing our focus to our feet first. Maybe flex and point them and get any little wiggles out so that you can relax your feet. Try to relax the hips. So in yin, we are focusing on connective tissue, and we hold a lot of emotions in the connective tissue. The connective tissue is the fascia, that cobwebby material that binds your organs and your bones together. Think of this silver skin on like a pork tenderloin. Or also the tendons and ligaments that attach your muscles to your bones, or bones to bones. So much of our focus in the Western world is on the glamorous muscles, building the muscles. We don't give a lot of attention to this connective tissue, and we end up injured. And as I said, we also hold a lot of emotion here. So it's good to give them a little love, a little attention. So in yin, the focus is there, and it's better if your muscles are actually cold, because if they're warmed up, you tend to stretch the muscles and not the ligaments and the tendons. So this helps in joint flexibility. And each posture is to be held for 1 to 15 minutes. Bringing the breath. The breath is the most important part. You want to breathe out longer than you breathe in. So I like to think of maybe an in-breath of anywhere from 4 to 6 seconds, and the exhale being 6 to 8 seconds. And each time you exhale, you relax into the stretch. And the stretch is to your edge, but not painful. So we'll release with the lower hand and bring the right hand down. Bring the hands behind you. Maybe sit back. Do our little windshield wiper, one direction and the other. Come back to butterfly. And this time we'll bring the right leg behind. Left leg stays in front. Squaring the hips a little bit. Making sure you feel stable in this posture. Again, you can sit with your legs in Sukhasana or even straight out in front of you. The important part is the cow face arms. And so we'll take the strap in our left hand, bring it over our head so that the left arm is straight up, and then take the right hand at the bottom and walk the hands closer together, pulling that strap down behind you without arching the back, so that the elbow is straight up and close to your ear, not out to the side, but as close to your ear as possible. Roll the shoulders down and back, opening up that side body, that left heart space. Bringing attention to the feet, relaxing the feet, the hips. We're getting a nice internal and external rotation of the legs in the hip socket. Relaxing the face. Maybe smile. Turn the corners of your mouth up. And coming to the breath. Breathing deeply in, maybe count how many seconds it takes you to breathe in, and add 2 seconds to your exhale. Picturing this beautiful green light at your heart space. So much love. Do a little check in with your spine. Are you sitting up nice and straight? Are you starting to tip one way or the other? Front, back? And if you notice that your fingers are starting to tingle and it's getting uncomfortable, you can always drop these arms and bring your hands behind your hips and just open up the heart space without tipping backwards, keeping the spine nice and straight, but just opening up that heart space, rolling the shoulders down and back and open, lifting the chin just slightly. So if you're still in cow face arms, you can release with the right hand, the bottom hand, and then bring the strap around. Bring your hands behind your hips and tip back. Bring your legs in front. Windshield wiper one way and the other. We're going to come into a counter pose of gate, which I think we did last when we did the solar plexus. So we're in a tabletop and we swing the left leg off the mat. The right leg extends out. This hand, the left hand is in line with the left knee. We're going to reach down, up, and around to stretch out that side body. So we want this nice line from the blade, the outer edge of that right foot that's extended, all the way up the side body. Arm is out, thumb is towards the back of the room, and we actually look up and open up that chest. So we're getting a nice stretch and opening up the heart space on the side body without, dropping down, but keeping that nice alignment of the spine. And you can feel this all the way down your hip. Then we'll circle around on an exhale, and we'll bring the right leg off the mat, the left leg straight out. So the right hand is in line with the right knee. Inhale, circle around, bring the left hand up. The left thumb points towards the back of the room. And we get this nice stretch on the left side, opening the heart space up, looking up if possible. If not, look forward. Listen to your body. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Inhale. And as you exhale, come down and around. And we'll come into a child's pose. So just as a counter stretch, rounding the shoulders, opening up the heart space on the back body. We'll take a few breaths here. A little love for the spine. Bringing the hands up by the knees, pushing up. We're going to come into supported fish. So you can use a bolster or 2 blocks for this. So we have one block that's going to go in alignment with our spine, straight with our spine, but it will be placed in the thoracic region, so between your shoulder blades. And then your other block will be like a T at the top for your head. Now, if this is not comfortable, if you take a bolster and put it right up against your hips and then lay back and open your heart space, you'll get the same effect. So I'm going to get this right in between my shoulder blades. My head is on the T portion and my arms are out. If this is uncomfortable for your lower back, your feet should be together, your legs are together, and in supported fish. But if that's uncomfortable, you can bring your legs up, feet flat on the floor, if you have any lower back issues. So letting the shoulders drop, opening that heart space, softening, allowing that beautiful emerald light to shine. Imagine with each breath, I breathe in love, I breathe out love. Perfect for Valentine's Day. I keep forgetting that's Monday. And as we move into our heart space meditation, I'll offer you to stay in this position in supported fish, or you can roll over to one side and move your blocks out of the way and come into Savasana. So taking a moment to get yourself nice and comfy. Our heart meditation is probably close to 10 minutes long. So take a moment to get yourself comfortable, maybe a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees, a blanket over your body. Closing the eyes and getting any last movements out of your body so that you can come to complete stillness. Letting your breath become natural and slow, relaxed. Opening up your shoulders, maybe snuggling your shoulder blades down under your heart space. Opening to receiving. This meditation will help you connect with your heart chakra, your anahata. This chakra holds the center of love, empathy, and compassion. Anahata means unstruck sound in Sanskrit and is represented by the element air and the color green. Like love, air surrounds and sustains us in this life. Anahata is the chakra of positive energy, connecting the lower chakras to the higher ones. When it is fully open, the heart chakra becomes a channel for universal compassion, our true selves. It is here in this space that we invite the infinite love to flow through us, allowing it to heal ourselves and others. The lesson of the heart is that we must fully love and accept ourselves before we can love and accept others. Begin to let your body settle. Begin to notice your breath. Spread your collarbones wide, opening up the space that holds your heart. If it's comfortable for you, you can bring one hand to your heart and the other hand either on top of that hand or to your belly. Bring your awareness to the space that surrounds your heart. Notice this space rise and fall with your breath. As you inhale, feel your belly expand and fill your lungs with fresh air. As you exhale, feel your belly contract, emptying out, creating space for new awareness. Now imagine you're breathing in a large emerald light through your nostrils, settling down into your heart space. It brings warmth, making the entire upper body feel toasty and cozy. As you breathe, allow this light and warmth to grow. Only by opening our hearts can we allow love to come in. If you have felt pain, perhaps a broken heart, you've opened yourself up enough to expose yourself to vulnerability. This is a courageous move. By doing so, you can extend light onto those who need love. Take a moment here to call to mind someone or multiple people whom you love. Bring their faces very clearly into your mind's eye. Now allow love to radiate from your heart space out and into this person or people. Now call to mind someone or multiple people who you have a tough relationship with. Bring their faces very clearly into your mind's eye. Now allow love to radiate from your heart space out and into this person or people. Now call to mind yourself. Picture yourself here in this room. Bring your face very clearly into your mind's eye. Now, using all of this love, compassion, and openness cultivated here in this space, begin to wrap yourself up in love, sending it out from this space that holds your heart. You can even imagine the emerald green light of your heart space growing with each breath until your entire being rests in a bubble of beautiful green light. Allow yourself to soak in this beautiful light of love, compassion, and openness. Begin to notice your breath. Deepen it. Maybe bring small movements into your fingers and toes, circling your wrists and ankles, And drawing your knees up to your chest, giving yourself a little hug, maybe rolling from side to side or in little circles. And taking any last movements that feel right in your body today. When you're ready, making your way up to a seated position with your eyes closed. And once you're in a seated position, rubbing your hands together, creating some heat, some energy, and placing your hands on top of your heart space. Returning to your sankalpa, your heartfelt intention for this practice. Taking a deep breath in as you exhale, offering that intention out to the universe. And maybe repeating in your mind, I am loved. I allow love to fill me up and guide me in all my actions. And bringing the hands in prayer to heart space and then to the third eye, and closing this practice for the heart. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.